First things first, huge win on Saturday. Thrilled for the Gamecock Nation and Coach Spurrier and his staff and team. Just really fun to be a part of that. And we would love to keep that momentum going in terms of getting some wins. And after reviewing the film from Friday night, really the things that stand out are obvious that we were not committed to defending and rebounding, and that is something that's going to be so important for us to be good. And we've got to do that. And so we've made it very clear with our guys that has to be our focus, our commitment. And as we've talked about so many times already, the challenge this year is that there really isn't anybody on our schedule where you feel like, we're going to get back on track with that game. And I think this game Wednesday is a great example of that. This is a team that is extremely talented. They've got outstanding individual players. They've got good depth. They're guys that are used to winning. They return a lot of guys that were significant contributors from a team that almost was in the Sweet 16 last year. They got two seniors that are probably going to win 100 games for a career. I think A.J. Slaughter is maybe as good a guard as we'll play all year long. The Caruso kid is as good an offensive rebounder and good at what he does as anybody will see all year long. And it's going to be a challenge. There's no question. It's a really good basketball team, and we knew heading into our schedule that when we got to this part of it, that every game coming was going to be like that. And I think the challenge, for us, is to stay focused on the things that we need to do. And it just got a little bit tougher for us too. We will be without Mike Holmes on Wednesday. Our guys were off Saturday because of the football game, and normally we take Sunday off, but given the circumstances, the way the games are going and the importance of the Clemson game, we were off Saturday. And Mike went home, and when he returned, had an injury to his eye, and turns out that he has a closed eye injury or a closed head injury that is a facial fracture. He's going to require surgery, and he'll be out indefinitely. So, questions?
Any idea how it happened?
My understanding is, just kind of horsing around at home, and that doesn't at this point, doesn't help us any because we're heading into a game, without another key guy, and our depth has been depleted yet again.
Who takes his place in the lineup there?
I don't know if that's something that we know yet. My initial reaction is to go as big as we can, and we may have to turn the heat up even more, as crazy as that sounds, and just completely, turn the game into an outright track meet and then press and get after it as much as we can is my initial. But, I think we'll see how, practice unfolds again tomorrow, and that might even be something that we decide on Wednesday.
I know you have your own issues with that and just day-to-day preparation, but is it different preparing for a program where you played and coached?
No, not at all. I think, the challenge is this is a really good team. I think, the only thing that's different is, you know some of these people and you know them well. You had developed relationships with them and hopefully contributed to them in some way, and I have a lot of respect and care for them. And I don't think anybody ever, likes to compete against those kind of people. And so, that element is there. But in terms of our preparation and the game and all of that, that won't change at all. We've got a really good basketball team we've got to get ready for.
Is it easy for you, just because of how you operate, to divorce yourself from emotions that could potentially come up with a game like this?
Yeah, again, I think so, because, the only emotion is that, again, you're going against, some kids that you care about. And a lot of several of those guys' homes and coached them for a few years and know their families and know what kind of people they are and want to see them do well, but we don't want to see them do well on Wednesday. And so I think that's the only thing that really comes into play, because ultimately we're prepared for another opponent. We've got a really good basketball team coming in here on Wednesday.
You were on the other end of this deal, obviously, in 2-1 against Georgia, and then they won last year too. Is there added motivation when you're on that side of it?
Which side?
Western.
I don't know. I don't remember that. I remember it being a big game because, at the time, it was a quality opponent. It was a SEC opponent, and you got them at home. I was only there for one of those. I think that element has changed a little bit. You see a lot more teams going into so-called, mid-major, and I don't like that term any better than anybody else does, but arenas like us going to Wofford and that kind of thing. You've seen a lot more of that. I think Michigan State's at Citadel here in a few weeks. So I don't know that that element is as big as it used to be at the time. That was the importance of it, that it was a big name, big league team on your schedule, and really nothing more than that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball, and it's a non-conference game. I mean, but that's only speaking from my own experience. I can't speak for them.
I presume that's why they build that into that contract for coaches.
Yeah, I think at the time, yeah, no question. And at the time, is when that wasn't happening at all. But I think even if you look at their schedule this year, I think they've got, I think Mississippi State maybe is coming in there later in the year. And even when I was there, we had Tennessee as our home game in Nashville and had more people in the arena, I think, if I recall correctly. Don't hold me to it. That maybe even more than we would hold in our normal arena. And so, there's just some things like that have changed since that was first initiated and we got prior to me in Dennis Felton's contract that, made me make that, a little bit different, not as important in some ways, I guess, in terms of getting that kind of game. But, on our end of it, the point is that, this is a quality opponent and, it helps our schedule.
Is it possible to kind of summate what WKU has meant to you in terms of getting you to this position right now?
Oh, it's my alma mater. I met my wife there. I got my first coaching job there. I got my first head coaching job there. It's been a great place for me, without question, and a lot of special people, and just a great situation, and I'll always be grateful for that and appreciative of it, and we'll stay that way. But we can't be that way on Wednesday night. Wednesday night we've got to take care of what we need to take care of.
Darren, you said Mike requires surgery. Has that surgery been scheduled yet?
Yeah, it has been scheduled. It's supposed to take place tomorrow.
Do you have any understanding about a timetable for him?
I don't. Not at this time. It's not going to be anytime soon. I don't think. And hopefully after surgery and we see exactly where we are with things at some later point, we'll have a better idea if there is a timetable. But you guys know I don't like to do that unless I've been told something specifically, and I haven't.
Right eye or left eye?
Well, that's a good question. Left eye.
Do you, just in terms of being around them the last couple of days, have they responded okay to losing two big factors?
Yeah, I think we have. I think the proof is going to be in going out and competing. Kind of like Friday night. We responded really well to Dominique's absence in practice, and then went out in the game and seemed to lose focus on the things that make us good. And I think that's the part that's going to be the test. And then they've been really good in practice, and I think they would continue to do so. And obviously this one changes things even more because now it's two, and because of the position that he plays. And so there'll be some things that we have to do, but that's all part of it. The important thing is, and I know I bore you guys quite a bit, but we're trying to build a program. And you're going to hear me say that over and over. And part of building a program is when you have situations like this, regardless of what the circumstances are, can what your program is about and how you play and the other guys in your program, sustain that, and not just winning and losing, but how you play and how you move forward. And this is an opportunity for us to grow in that and to build that. And so from that standpoint, it's a challenge that we're excited about.
I think fans probably started to learn Saturday that building a program takes a little bit more patience. That's not do with basketball.
Sure.
That being the case, is there any bit of the offense or defense that has to be scaled back now because you're missing two main guys, or changed anything in any way? Or?
Yeah, I think adjusted would be a better way to say it than scaled back. We're still going to try to play like we are, and again, I lean more towards right now opening up even more to make sure we're playing that way. And our guys don't get hesitant. But there need to be adjustments. There's no question. I think one of them, for example, is from a rebounding perspective. We've got to be a team that does a great job of being physical and making sure all five guys are doing a great job of rebounding, because we lost one and now two guys that were probably our best rebounders in terms of just going and getting the ball. And so, little things like that. But in terms of how we want to play and the approach we take, I don't think that'll change drastically. I really don't, because that goes back to the program stuff that I was talking about.
More questions?